Welcome to the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business Podcast. My name is Sally Harrison, and I'm the CEO of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. Today, we are in the University of Phoenix podcast studio, and joining me as today's guest is Chief Ken Cost with Mesa Police Department. Today, we're going to talk about, all things PD.
Yeah.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
I'm good, Sally. How are you?
Oh, Chief, we're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
This is
good
exciting.
To be here.
Well, thank you. We have some questions for you.
Okay.
There's a lot going on in Mesa and a lot going on specifically with the department. So I know you've been with Mesa PD for 25 years.
Yes.
It's a long time to be anywhere. Tell us about your career and why you like working for the department. Talk about, the pros and cons of working your way up, and now you're chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So currently I'm serving as the interim chief for Mesa. So I started 25 years ago. I actually started about 27 years ago in California. Fun fact. So that was my first law enforcement
And then you
job.
got smart and moved to Arizona.
I did. I was one of the smart ones way back then. So it's really been an outstanding career. I started in law enforcement because I was either going to teach high school and coach sports, which is another passion of mine,
right.
or I was going to get into law enforcement.
Uh-huh.
I took my first criminal justice class and I got hooked because there's so many things you can do within one career. And you're a true servant leader. You're doing something that's beyond yourself and more important than yourself. And growing up in that environment was important for me to get in that line of work. So it's really been a special career. And Mesa PD has been great, and serving the citizens of Mesa has been unbelievable. I've been just about everywhere in the department. I worked patrol. I was a trainer.
Do you think that brings a big benefit, though, to you as chief now?
It does, because those roles, especially in the operational side of things, as you get into administration, really help you have a well-rounded approach to your decision making.
Better understanding,
because you've been there and you've spent significant time in the role of a variety of roles as a police officer. So it has helped quite a bit. So that's the pros of promoting is that when you're a field training officer, you're a leader of one. When you're an officer, you're a leader in our community. You're a sergeant. Now you have a small squad that you're responsible for, and the responsibility grows bigger. But the impact you have on the officers and on the department as a whole grows wider, and that sphere of influence is quite attractive when you start climbing the ladder.
Well, it's nice that you can say, I've done that job, so I understand it.
Right.
It's got to be helpful.
Yeah, it absolutely is helpful, when
great.
you're making those decisions. So.
Well, since being interim chief, what changes have you implemented? Because I know we've talked before, and you had some things that you maybe weren't going to change and some things that you might tweak a little bit. What are your goals to create a more positive image for the department?
Well, I think that there's a lot of approaches with that. We've made an awful lot of great changes over the last couple of years. And, as far as these last 3 months as interim, keeping that momentum going forward and moving forward as the department has been number one priority, to stabilize our department and to continuously improve in the areas that we need to improve on. As far as a positive image, it really is two-pronged. We have the media relations office, who are amazing people, professionals from that community that work with us on a daily basis, to not only promote the great things that we're doing and the stories that the officers have, to show the human side of police work. Because often we get, you're in that, you have that badge, you have the uniform, you're very public facing. And a lot of times it's important for people to see the human side of police officers. And it's great for the officers to get out in the community, because let's face it, our officers are going on everybody's worst day. Right. Nobody calls 911 because things are going good. Sure. So it's two-pronged. So our officers are being more involved in the community as well. And those are examples that people will see that help with the image on a daily basis.
It's important.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Mesa's got a record number of 3 academy classes started just this month.
Yes.
Is that right? Tell us about the goal to hire 300 more officers in the next few years. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
But we're in a big city.
We're in a big city, and it's growing. And I know we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes, as well as the challenges of that. But as the city grows, and as we have more people come in, more business, more activity, more schools, and we have to keep up with that growth. So the city has been real supportive for us to stay ahead of our attrition. And then also the citizens were outstanding last year, and we're real fortunate for the sales tax to be implemented because
Yes.
it allows us to add beyond our attrition numbers to stay ahead of the population growth and be able to provide outstanding service to the community. So having 300 officers plus go through the academy is something we've never done before. So January is our
busy.
first. Yes, it is. So we have a January academy, an April academy, and an August academy.
Wow.
And I will plug whoever's listening, go to mpd.jobs.com and come join an outstanding career because we are actively recruiting and actively hiring.
I assume for
to
all
fill those.
positions.
For all positions, because we have to have our professional staff who make us run on a daily
Right.
basis to support the officers. So we are doing quite a bit of hiring because of that growth and the fact that 20 years later, yesterday I just went to an academy, 20-year academy graduation, if you will, where people get their
That's
20-year
awesome.
badge.
Oh,
And
wow.
those were classes that had 50 plus officers go through at a time. And that's quite a bit. And now, ironically, 20 years later, we're in that same
Wow.
boat. But this year, we're going to be doing 3. So a January, April, August academy. And so we are really pushing for our hiring, recruiting, and our training are big initiatives that we're working on right now.
Wow. It's a lot of people to get through.
Yeah, it is a lot of people.
But it's great that you have that kind of interest, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's difficult right now because every agency in the state, in the valley, and really nationwide are looking for great people. And oftentimes it can be difficult because you're competing, if you will, for the top candidates for those positions. But Tara Hall, who runs our recruiting, and Assistant Chief Dan Butler is at the lead of that. They are doing an outstanding job, and our recruiting numbers are actually gaining over the past 3 years.
Nice.
In comparison to the 3 prior years. So,
what makes a good officer? What are you looking for?
we're looking for that well-rounded, and I think I talked about it a little bit before. You have to have a heart for servant leadership. So you have to be somebody that is going to come into this career, and it's not a job, it's a career, knowing that you have the heart to serve and do something that's beyond yourself. And so that's all encompassing. You need to have compassion for people. You need to be able to communicate very well. You need to be able to make split-second decisions. The dangerous part of the job is the scary part of the job, and what most people kind of identify with police work. So you need to be sharp. You need to be in shape. It's so much to be a good police officer. But really, as long as you come in with a dedicated and good attitude towards servant leadership, then you're going to do very well. And we really like a diversity in our candidates of every realm, and because that helps make people well-rounded. So it's really neat to see our recruiting and where it's going and all the different things that we do to get that great police officer. And we have so many. So it's really cool to see.
You do. We have nothing but great things to say, and our members, I mean, everybody's supportive of public safety in general in Mesa. We know that we wouldn't have a great city without great public safety, so it's important to all of us.
Right.
Well, with Mesa being a growing city, and some say it could soon surpass Tucson as the second largest city in Arizona, what challenges does that present to Mesa PD?
But some of the challenges that we talked about is hiring enough officers to keep up with that growth. We'll be opening up a new police substation in the northeast portion of Mesa.
Yeah.
And to give you an idea of the challenge that we face now, our Superstition Patrol District, and each of those divisions are as big as most police departments around the country. That's 71 square miles in and of itself. Right. So an officer could be up in Los Angeles answering a call and then have to go all the way down to Eastmark. And so that increases response times, and it presents some challenges that way. Sure. Where we are, the support that we got from the voters and our challenges moving forward is to split that division in half and basically reorganize what we're doing in patrol so we can cut down the officer's response time and increase the level of service that we have to the citizens out there and all the businesses and the growth within that. So the other challenge about growing so fast internally is the ability to mentor and succession plan for the next group
Sure.
of leaders and officers that are going to be running the organization
Mhm.
moving forward. And so that's another piece that we've committed to internally, to have an intentional mentorship, intentional career development plan in place. So we are mentoring those officers that are just getting on now, knowing that you're going to be the future leadership of the organization, and you're going to be taking this organization over long after we're gone,
Right.
and setting them to a path of success, and really being intentional about that succession planning. So I think that is a big challenge as
Mhm.
well, that we're
Sure.
seeing and implementing now, so we're ready for that future growth.
Well, go back to your new station out in Northeast Mesa. What's the timeline for that?
Well, it's just fresh, so I don't want to get myself in trouble and
Yes.
start saying exactly when it's going to
Mhm.
open. But it's somewhere in that budget year 22, 23. But it is still early. It's in planning
Yeah.
phases, so that's not set in stone.
Okay.
But we're working towards that. We're working with our other city department heads
Mhm.
to get in the design process, and that is all just beginning, and
Cool.
it's a heavy lift.
Mhm.
But our
I'm
folks
sure.
are working hard, and the city folks are amazing, working with them to start that process. So we're
That's great.
excited.
That's great. How does Mesa PD grow and keep that positive relationship that you have with the community?
Well,
There's got to be challenges.
I think there's challenges because I'll tell you the way I look at it, and the staff is on the same page.
Mhm.
It's like any other relationship. You have
Gotta
to
put
have
time
to
into it.
continually put the time and effort into it.
Mhm.
You can't build a good relationship and then just sit back and stay in a status quo mode and think that things are going to be okay.
Mhm.
You're not establishing a relationship to check a box. It's a true, genuine relationship,
Mhm.
and I think we continue to grow by making sure we're fostering the current relationships that we have, and then continue to expand our network and those relationships, and using our officers and our frontline folks as the force multiplier. And that is very important to me and to our department.
Mhm.
And so what you'll see moving forward from our officers is, we'll talk about it in a minute. Well, we're amazing crime fighters. Crime fighting is a core of the Mesa Police Department
Mhm.
that we're really proud of. And again, I'll expand on that later. But being a part of the community is just as important to our officers.
Mhm.
And the officers that we have out there are just incredible human beings that want to connect to the community. And so we're leveraging that by encouraging our patrol officers in between calls, and when you have time, because they're awful busy,
Mhm.
go connect with the community within your beat. For years and years and years, it was a supervisor's responsibility
Yeah.
to organize community events and do things within the community.
Mhm.
And we're empowering our officers to do that. And
They're the ones out there, right?
they're the ones out there, and we're giving them credit. Like we have a patrol log, and the
Mhm.
log has all kinds of important categories: how many calls you answer, how many backups,
Mhm.
how many people you've arrested, so on and so
Sure.
forth. We've added community engagement
Nice.
to that log, so
Mhm.
they understand, and it's that old term: what's measured matters,
Mhm.
and it matters to us, and it matters to them, and they should get credit when they just stop on the side of the road and have a conversation with someone and establish a relationship, whether it's a business owner or a manager or just a group of kids hanging out in a park.
Mhm.
They're going to get credit for that. And so I think our efforts are going to be top down, everybody in the department, to really force multiply those relationships, and not have it just a core group of small people.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I have family that are police officers, and I think it's important. They've talked about, you have to get to know the people in your community so they can trust you and feel like they're part of the bigger family.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, compared to other police departments in the Valley or across Arizona or even other states, how does Mesa PD compare in your opinion? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this.
So, okay,
At least your answer better be what I'm thinking.
I'm going to be politically correct, because I don't want to start like an East Valley war with my friends in the other communities. But
That's okay. We saw Solberg the other day. He's cool.
Okay. Well, and he's got Gilbert, and they're awful safe. We are very proud of that. So we measure it by crimes per thousand, and it's all through FBI uniform crime reporting.
Sure.
And so everybody's consistent on it. And so to give you an idea, we ended last year at just under 24 crimes per thousand. And part one crimes are the major ones. So
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about on the property crime side, your burglaries, your
Right.
thefts, your auto thefts, those type of crimes. And then on the more serious side, you're talking about sexual assault,
Mm-hmm.
murder, robbery, and we are at the lowest the city has ever seen in
That's
crime
such
rate.
good news.
Just 12 years ago, we were double the number. The record in Mesa was well over 100 crimes per 1,000 resident.
And you're down to what?
24, under 24. So
wow.
it really is incredible.
That's a significant drop.
It's a significant drop. And so what the city is seeing now is something that never has seen. So
Mm-hmm.
we've set the bar high now, and but we're really proud of that. So when you compare that to other cities nationwide, and I'll stick with nationwide for
Sure.
now, so I don't start the external wars. Nationwide, Virginia Beach is the only other city in our like-sized population category that is safer than the city of Mesa.
Wow.
And so we are extremely proud of that. And, it really goes into, of course, where I'm sitting. What a great place to live, work, play, start your business, bring your business, because it's thriving. And it's thriving on so many fronts. And so when you're thinking about that and, where am I going to move my family? Where am I going to move my business? I mean, this community right now is at the safest we've ever seen in my career and in the history. So, and East Valley wise, we do very well with our rank within every other city around us. So it's a pretty great time to see, and there's a lot of reasons why that's happened, but it's a great time.
That's awesome. Talk about how technology has changed police work, because obviously that's been a part of this, right, over the last few years especially.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I think that's why I asked how long do I have on this podcast. So let me give the shortened version. I was just talking to some folks the other day because we just implemented a new records management system. So it was our second system. Our first record management system, automated, went on in 2005, and now we're in a process of changing right now. And prior to that, it was writing your reports, a lot of whiteout, a lot of laborious processes that are now streamlined into taking your phone and snapping pictures out at a scene and then being uploaded into our evidence storage, and the Axon cameras, obviously the body cameras, that we were one of the first big agencies to have that in 2012. So there's been a lot of adjustment within the profession that way, but we've had a good 8 years of experience doing that. We're heading down. We're going right down the same line as the Smart Cities initiatives, and so down the road we're looking to build a real-time crime center, and eventually officers are going to have heads up display and video of where they're going real time before they ever get there. So drones and the abilities to use different camera systems, it's just amazing. And the software that ties that all together and makes everything more efficient on a daily basis. All of that makes our service level go so much higher to the community, because these type of things free officers up. It allows them to do more patrol, allows them to be safe, which is the most important.
Right.
And we really leverage that technology to our advantage. And so it's exciting. I mean, there's something that comes out probably, several times a year that is really changing our business. And
That's
so
awesome.
we look forward to.
Well, it's changing in the right direction. You obviously have your department, your team. You have a lot to be proud of.
Yes.
It's an exciting time to be in Mesa for residents, for businesses.
Yes.
Any other big things you want to tell us? Because we're going to have you back, because we can't spend the night tonight. So.
Okay. No. Yeah. I think I covered the basics. I look forward to coming back and continuing conversations. We're excited.
That'd be great.
Over at the Mesa Police Department, and with all the great things moving forward. So.
Well, it's a great partnership. We're proud to have your back on things and help you promote things. So Having gone through the Citizens Academy, I tell everybody every time I can, they have to go through your Citizens Academy, and Fire has one now too. So
right, and we have a shameless plug. We have a kickoff on Saturday, so go to the website and click on those links, because the new way that we do the Citizens Academy is awesome. And
cool.
So Ms. Tara Hall has got that thing rolling, and
that does not surprise me.
We're super excited. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chief Goss, for coming in today and joining us on the Inside Business Podcast. You can find all of our episodes of the Inside Business Podcast at iTunes, Google Play, or your own favorite podcast website. You can also find them online at mesachamber.org. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.